what I want to deal with on this today is, well, once, kind of a strong word. What I'm going to deal with on this today is the fact that the fender doesn't line up with the door because, why? It's an aftermarket fender.
All it takes is one job, oh yeah. All it takes is one job, and everything is gonna be okay.
So, something is not gonna line up. This one's a tough one though, and it happens a lot on this aftermarket stuff, where you'll have a nice fitment somewhere like here, you'll have a nice fitment somewhere like here. Smack dab in the middle, we're not lining up. I'd say it's probably full quarter off, which just is not going to work. What I'd like to do is fix this without cutting the door in half, but we're just going to have to see what has to happen. The way I'm going to start is I'm going to try to knock this out from the back and move this line down a little bit, but I don't know how it's going to react on the rest of this. If I can get this edge right and get something started through here, we should probably be fine. I can blend that a little bit and sharpen it with some filler, but welding all the way across this is of course going to cause warping of some sort. You know, you can't avoid it all. So I think I'm going to start by marking where I want my line, and we're going to go from there, because you're going to learn while I'm learning on how that I'm going to deal with this. So we are carrying across this whole seam here. The reason I'm not going to fix it on the fender is because we already have to do body work on the door. It was not great, and so I've already done a lot of work on the front edge of this to get it to come back to life. We had old mirror holes to weld up, so it's going to need worked anyway. So let's see what happens here if I open this up and knock it. Alright, we got Jared on the outside of our door here. Hey! Look at that.
How neat is that?
Now, I want to put that dolly on the inside, probably this edge. That seemed to work.
Would you look at that?
Would you look at that? Now, if I could get to the inside and do that all the way along here, we'd be done.
Easy.
But now what? See if you can see this. We kind of took the line out of there and put it right there. So that worked. That was a chisel on the back right there. But now what do I do for the rest of it? Getting the edge is the big part, because you can't have filler just on an edge. You know, putting filler on here and just rolling it just a little bit isn't such a big deal, but I really don't want to do that all the way along there. I just don't like that idea. So let's see what we can do for that. Alright, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take this chisel and mark us a line so I can take this tape off of here. Then I kind of have a stupid idea that might be stupid enough to work. So I kind of got this down to edge because I don't want to have weld a real thick piece to this, but I need the thicker piece to hold it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to angle this down, tack it on there like that, and then what I'm doing is I'm trying to knock this original body line down and bring this new body line in. Let's cut it off and see what we did. Well, kind of worked. I'll try to show you it because it's actually a little bit more noticeable. You can see right here is that first one. I only had 3 tacks on, and you can see how it left that. Reason is because it didn't have any way to pull it. The easy way to fix that would be my nail gun. It's you weld a nail on it and then you can pull it out with a slide hammer. But it might have been a little bit low here, but you can kind of see like we're starting to make this. So it's coming across here, and we're here, and the old one's here. So you can see it's a lot of difference there, you know. So we're getting somewhere. So this seemed to work out pretty good. We got the line drop down here, and it's not bad. You know, it needs a little bit of tuning up that I'll probably do here in a few minutes. You know, for a bad situation, it seemed to work out pretty good. I know it's kind of hard to see here on the camera, but you can kind of see it there. It's kind of has that shadow that seems to line up there. You know, kind of a solution to a big issue. With the, you know, the welding that I did with the bender, it was kind of, you know, questionable whether cutting it would be better, but it would be hard to work this curve in and flatten out that other body line with just cutting it. This kind of helped kind of take care of everything, and then I could kind of slowly work it, and kind of just a slow sheet metal break kind of action. But took one bend out and put another bend in as you kind of worked it with that piece. And for not having any idea how I was going to do this when we started, I'm pretty satisfied with the results. It's not the greatest thing that's ever happened, and I'm not super stoked on the door, not super stoked on the fender, but you got lemons, you make lemonade. Working on the door gaps here. I'm pretty happy with this now. I've added a lot of metal right here, and then I took a little bit off right there, and I added some there and took off some through here, and you can see that's made for a pretty consistent gap. It's a little tight down here, but I think I can get that with the fender, just open it up just a skoshie. But on the back, the top is pretty good. Kind of gets worse through here, and then this is too tight. And then I opened it back up a little bit with this piece because I knew that I kind of wanted to do a little better job of this. But this is too tight right here. It's not touching, but once you add your new paint and all the clear coat and everything of the new products, it's going to not work out as well. We also have a little bit of a difference in and out right here. This fits pretty good down here, and then it gets kind of wide here, and then it does pretty good up here. So kind of in this section here, I'd like to take this part in a little bit. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start by cutting the edge right here with the cutoff, and I'll probably go all the way up there. Then I'll come back in here and kind of cut this back a little bit. I might do this in different sections. I don't think I want to cut the whole thing open at once. I don't want any issues. Probably start cutting here, and maybe go to here, and then we'll do the other parts. Alright, I think just getting this part more opened up and this made that upper part look more uniform, and so I'm pretty happy with that. You can ruin a car over grinding. You want to be really gentle with that. I'm not using much pressure, you know, in order to get this nice edge. I use my little grinder, the little 3-inch, to kind of clean it up, as you saw. And what really helps this is actually like 80 grit on a DA. You can actually get your edges a lot nicer. You can see, like, I don't know if you can really see it, but where the grinder kind of comes and doesn't quite get that even, it'll look like the gap is wider just because of the slope that piece is coming into it. That happens a lot on aftermarket pieces because the stamps they use aren't as sharp, or they're very used to where the stamp, the edge is rounded a little bit. If the edge is not as sharp, then it'll make the gap look bigger just because it's rolled out. So I'll do this a lot, like if I'm doing a Mustang or a Camaro and I got the new aftermarket quarter, most of the time I'll cut this entire front edge, trunk edges, I'll cut them and sharpen them after I get the quarter on. I'll actually recut that edge and sharpen it. If I know it's gonna really be a massacre, I might even leave that stock edge and just use the outside of the skin, but usually not. Usually I'll get it on there, see how it looks, and then cut it and re-weld it, just to have a sharper edge. As you can see, it takes a little time, but it's not like crazy amount of time. I probably have 3 hours maybe into this back edge here, and it's gonna really make all the difference in the world when this is complete.
All it takes is one job, oh yeah. All it takes is one job, and everything is gonna be okay.